In the blistering heat of Tokyo's Toray Pan Pacific Open, world number 21 Karolina Muchova stares down the baseline, her serve hanging in the air like a guillotine blade. The score? 6-4, 7-5 against a resurgent opponent who just won't break. But as the final point lands a slicing backhand winner that echoes through the stunned crowd, Muchova doesn't celebrate. She freezes, drops her racket, collapses to her knees, whispers to her team, "This is it. The season ends here." Not with a title, not with a fight to the WTA Finals, but with a gut-wrenching surrender that no one saw coming. A top 25 titan, reduced to tears on an October afternoon. What pushed her over the edge? Stick around, because this isn't just a loss, it's the unraveling of a dream. The Japan Open had started like a fairy tale for Muchova. Fresh off a gritty quarterfinal run in Wuhan, where she dismantled two top 20 seeds with her signature slice and volley wizardry, Karolina arrived in Tokyo as the dark horse everyone whispered about. At 28, she'd clawed her way back from a 2023 wrist surgery that sidelined her for nearly a year, her ranking teetering on the edge of oblivion. But 2025? It was her redemption arc. A French Open semifinal in June, where she pushed Iga Swiatek to the brink in a 5-set thriller that had fans chanting her name like a battle cry. Then, a shock win over Aryna Sabalenka in Cincinnati, her flat forehand cracking through the Belarusian's power like lightning through storm clouds. Muchova wasn't just playing tennis, she was weaving spells on court, her fluid one-handed backhand turning defense into poetry. Tokyo felt like the crescendo. The WTA 500 event, with its neon lights and roaring home crowd, promised a deep run that could vault her into the top 15 and secure a spot at the season-ending championships in Riyadh. She breezed through her first round, outlasting a qualifier in a tense 7-6, 6-3 battle that left her drenched but defiant. Her second match? A masterclass, 6-2, 6-4 over a seeded American, her serve placement so precise it bordered on psychic. Whispers in the locker room turned to roars, Muchova's back, unbreakable. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. Late-night physio sessions, ice packs on her shoulder that never seemed to melt the ache. She shrugged it off in pressers, flashing that slight Czech smile, just the grind. Yet, as the quarterfinal loomed, those cracks widened into chasms. Enter the surprise that shattered the script. Facing off against 19-year-old sensation Emma Raducanu in the quarters, a matchup billed as elegance versus fire, Muchova entered as the favorite. Raducanu, the 2021 US Open phenom turned injury-plagued enigma, had been a revelation in Asia. After pulling out of Wuhan with a nagging ankle tweak, she stormed Tokyo as a wild card, her aggressive baseline game slicing through the draw like a hot knife. Beating two top 50 players in straight sets, Emma arrived courtside with that trademark intensity, her eyes locked like lasers. No one expected the upset, least of all Muchova, who led 4-2 in the first set, her volleys landing like daggers. But then, the twist, Raducanu, down but never out, unleashed a roar that silenced the stadium. A blistering forehand crosscourt at 30-30, breakpoint saved. Then another. Suddenly, the set flipped 6-4 Raducanu. Muchova's shoulder, that silent saboteur, began to throb with every overhead smash. She fought back in the second, clawing to 5-5 on sheer willpower, her grunts echoing like war cries. The crowd surged, phones flashing, as the breaker loomed. But on match point, Raducanu's serve, a 120 mph rocket down the tee, clipped the line. Game over. Muchova's racket hit the net, and in that suspended heartbeat, the world tilted. Emma rushed the net, embraced tight, whispering words of empathy that cut deeper than the loss. For Raducanu, it was redemption, her first top 25 scalp since Miami, a statement that her 2025 resurgence climbing from number 67 to number 29 was no fluke. She pumped her fist, tears mixing with sweat, knowing this win etched her name deeper into the tour's lore. But for Muchova, it was the breaking point. As medics swarmed, she waved them off, her voice cracking over the mic, "Enough. The dream dies here." The aftermath hit like a rogue wave. Muchova's camp confirmed it hours later, season over. Shoulder tendinitis, flared beyond repair, compounded by the mental toll of endless comebacks. At 21 in the rankings, she'd tasted the summit runner-up in Paris 2023, now this near miss at glory, but the body betrayed her again. No Hong Kong Open, no Guadalajara finale, no chase for that elusive first WTA title since 2019. Fans flooded social media, tributes pouring in from rivals like Ons Jabeur, who called her the tour's unsung artist. Raducanu, still buzzing from the win, posted a heartfelt note, "Legends like Karolina remind us why we fight." Her own path? Paved with pitfalls, back spasms in Beijing, a stomach bug in Wuhan, but this victory fueled her fire. At 22, Emma's eyeing the top 20 by year's end, her aggressive style evolving into something lethal. For Muchova, it's forced rest, rehab and Prague, plotting a 2026 roar. Yet in the quiet of that Tokyo night, as stadium lights dimmed, one truth lingered: tennis devours its warriors, but their stories? They echo forever. What if this loss births Muchova's greatest chapter? Drop your takes below. Could Emma ride this wave to a slam? Hit like if your team comeback, subscribe for the rawest sports pulse. In the blistering heat of Tokyo's Toray Pan Pacific Open, world number 21 Karolina Muchova stares down the baseline, her serve hanging in the air like a guillotine blade. The score? 6-4, 7-5 against a resurgent opponent who just won't break. But as the final point lands a slicing backhand winner that echoes through the stunned crowd, Muchova doesn't celebrate. She freezes, drops her racket, collapses to her knees, whispers to her team, "This is it. The season ends here." Not with a title, not with a fight to the WTA Finals, but with a gut-wrenching surrender that no one saw coming. A top 25 titan.